Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Ben Taylor Podcast, the home of marine industry insights. We of course are at Monaco. This is during the Monaco Yacht Show 2025, and this content is brought to you by Superyacht Services Guide, a worldwide trusted directory of large yacht services that many crew and captains use on board to find what they need. Today, we're talking about technology, one of our favorite topics. We're talking about FarSounder. We've had Matt on the podcast before. You are back. More updates, more stuff to talk about. Not whale poop this time.
Well, a little bit of whale poop.
A little bit. Never forget. So welcome to the podcast. Nice to see you.
Good to see you as well, Ben.
So give us some context. Anybody that's not familiar with FarSounder, what are you about? What's kind of the core mission there?
Well, FarSounder's mission is really about providing safety and enabling vessels to get to the places they want to go to access exclusivity. The most basic piece of information when you're navigating is what's underwater in front of the yacht. And radars look above the water, charts tell you what was the last thing someone bothered to write down, which might be Captain Cook or even nothing.
Yeah.
And your echo sounder just tells you what you just saw as you just drove over.
Which might be too late.
Exactly. So our systems are a 3D forward-looking sonar, which looks out in front of the vessel in real time. We also build a map of everywhere you've been. And if you choose, you can even share that map anonymously across the FarSounder fleet. In exchange, you get the aggregate map of all of the other contributors. And we contribute to Seabed 2030 on your behalf, all anonymously. So you can help map the world's oceans while you're doing the things you're already normally doing. But most importantly, being able to do it safely and more easily to access the places your guests want to go.
Yeah, and I love that bit, the bit of sharing the data between different FarSounder users, so that everybody with this product has more value from it.
Absolutely.
But then also contributing it to Seabed 2030 and just making it available for citizen science, symmetry, and just generally the good of everything going on.
I'm a strong believer in, if you're going to go out there and do these things anyways, what can you do to give back to the global community without changing your daily operations? It's all anonymous, so there's no information about the vessels, your privacy is secure, but you still have that satisfaction of being really one of the explorers and discoverers of our planet, because only about 27% of the world's oceans has ever been mapped, and only about 50% of the shallow coastal areas where yachts want to go. So not only is having our equipment important for your own safety when navigating, but you can also contribute back to science and the global community.
And people with these boats often like that kind of element, just a little bit of giving back, but also a bit of a mission. A bit of a, hey, we're navigating down this coastline, but we're also contributing to science. We're discovering. It's a bit of adventure.
Providing some purpose is a strong...
that's the phrase I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's
providing purpose, that's
strong
it.
motivation.
Yeah.
Along with these depth observations, we also have a floating observation button. So if the crew sees a whale or floating trash, you can log that in our software, and we'll handle passing that on to the relevant conservation organizations. Again, all anonymous and all private. So it's really important to be able to know where the whales are and where's the floating trash so we can get cleaned up.
Okay, and can you give me an idea? So this is a little product focus with the FarSounder forward-looking sonar. What picture does it give you? How does it actually communicate? Okay, if there's something in the water in front of you, is it like just a little ping, a little dot? Do you have quite a lot of data around, it's whale shaped, it's container shaped?
Yeah.
What do you find out? What information do you actually get?
We really focused on making our software easy to use and easy to understand, because you don't have a dedicated sonar operator on board, you have your bridge crew. Just like your radar and your ECDIS, you want it easy and quick to use. So our display provides really a complete situational awareness. There is standard nautical chart underneath. We put the sonar information on top, along with AIS and ARPA targets, and now also CAI targets, which I know we'll be talking a little bit more about later. And we provide a really clean, easy to use picture, both on the standard bridge display, and again, something we'll be talking about in a moment, our new browser-based web app. So you can look it on your iPad.
That's exactly what's next. Let me ask you the question.
Okay,
are you ready?
Excellent.
So you've been working on this web app. it's one of those extensions of value, intuitive, just more value for the users, whether it's captains, designated people ashore, fleet managers, all that kind of thing. How does that work? Give us a little overview.
Well, you still run the standard FarSounder software on the bridge computer, and that's important because it has the most basic information, your chart, your sonar, AIS, and ARPA, in a standardized, easy to use display, sits on your bridge alongside your ECDIS and your radar. But and this is really a very high seas commercial looking piece of software. In the yachting sector, it's really clear that our customers want things that are simplified, slick, and portable.
Yeah.
So whether you're using the new web app as the primary display on your bridge, or you're running it as a secondary display at your wing station, on your iPad, crew, owner, guests, they could be looking at it as well. And it also allows integrations inside other third-party systems that support those browsers.
Yeah, so the keywords being data, interoperability, a fancy way of saying, essentially, if you've got different devices, you can connect via an API and you can kind of display it as most appropriate
Absolutely.
to the vessel's needs.
But most importantly, simple and clear, streamlined.
Easy.
And if you look at our
Yeah.
the original Sonasoft and the new Sonasoft Lite, it is really clear that one is the high seas ship software system, and the other is the going out using it the way you want to. It's a lot like a lot of the yachts have official ECDIS on board, but they're also using unofficial ECSs because they like the ECS experience. Same thing with our products. We now have that high seas and the slick user experience in the app, the new app.
Okay, CAI.
Yeah.
I've been following CAI for a while. I think they're a really exciting company, very cool. And the last thing I heard about their updates was the brain being integrated into other hardware that's already on board.
Yeah.
What have you done? What's FarSounder's approach been to integrate with the CAI?
Well, our approach has always been how to make things easy. And our core technology looks ahead of the vessel underwater, which is a clear complement to above water sensors.
Good point. Very good point.
Looking above the water.
Yeah.
Up until now, it's been, this screen has the sonar and the chart. This screen has the CAI camera picture and their targets.
Yeah.
But to have the best user experience, you want that joined together. So we're taking the targets generated by CAI.
That's good.
And overlaying them on top of the new Sonasoft Lite browser app.
Yeah.
And so you'll have charts, aerial imagery, sonar, AIS, ARPA, and the CAI targets. And just to be clear, this app is not meant to replace your ECDIS. It's not meant to replace your CAI camera user interface.
Yeah.
It's meant as, when you're navigating, you want all of that information together in a clear, concise, simple display. We're not doing voyage planning. We're not doing weather routing. We're doing, where are you right now? What do you see? What is your navigation environment?
Right. So what has been essentially like a clear line at water level where you've got two different systems identifying things in the water. This can now be overlaid, one MFD, one display, so that you can have a clear vision of actually above and below. But this actually takes two different technologies. FarSounder's taking care of underneath the water.
It's more than two.
And
it's the
CAI
FarSounder below the water.
Okay, yeah.
CAI above the water.
Yeah.
AIS and ARPA, which are critical sensors from other domains.
Yeah.
Chart information, and if you connect that app to the internet, you don't need internet to run it, but if you are putting it on the internet, you also get aerial imagery. So you can look down, you can see where the sandbars that the satellite saw. What's the sonar showing you? Does that correlate with the chart?
Very clever.
Is there a sailboat sailing by, seeing the the CAI camera feed, all fused together into one simple display?
Right. And what are the big use cases for this? Where is this just ideal?
Well, obviously in the superyacht sector, when you're navigating unknown areas, the charts don't give you the information that you need. Like I said,
it's historical data. Like yesterday, it's technically out of date. 3 years ago, 5 years ago. It's definitely out of date.
200 years ago.
Yeah,
in some cases.
yeah.
But again, like I said before, only about 50% of shallow coastal areas has ever been mapped. And the vast majority of that is in the main shipping channel, shipping lanes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is fine for your transit when you're going from...
Yeah, when you're on that route, that's fine.
Exactly.
Because it's been mapped
But when
probably
you have
yesterday.
guests
That's
on
fine.
board,
Yeah.
you don't want to have lunch and anchor in the shipping channel. You want to be off in that lagoon. And
a remote atoll that nobody's ever been to. That's the dream.
Exactly.
That's what yachting's all about.
Exactly.
So,
Or when you're going into the polar regions, Antarctica, Northwest Passage, Greenland, Svalbard. Those are not well-charted areas. Things change as the ice melts. Things change as the glaciers break off, and they can actually move boulders underwater.
Yeah, it'd be powerful. I mean, they make mountains, so they can change the seabed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was talking to a captain yesterday who said, I'm a polar navigator.
Okay.
And the guests want to get right up next to the ice floe.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't have any navigation information here. So having the 3D forward-looking sonar allows users like that to know how far, how close can they get. But again, it's not just ice, it's also the tropics. It's even in some of the well-known places. You might be in your home port and there is a shipwreck that you didn't know about, which took place actually back local to our office in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
There was an unknown shipwreck for about 75 years, low tide,
That's wild,
27 feet below the waterline, in a channel marked for 50-foot draft. So if an aircraft carrier had come in through there demanding that 50-foot draft and had hit that shipwreck at only 27 feet, would have been a big surprise.
Yeah, of course. And what about the standards, the maintenance, the integration to all of the systems? How's that set up? Has it got NMEA 2000 or that kind of system? How does that work?
Yeah, we take in the AIS, the ARPA, standard GPS, NMEA sensors through the NMEA bus.
Right.
That's done through our dealers and the integrator. So we sell through a dealer network. They have certified technicians.
Yeah.
They do the integration. They're all trained. They do the commissioning. They can provide training to the users. But we also have an online training class for our end users. And also the technical training for the technicians is also available to chief engineers or anybody on board the vessel that wants to really dig into the deep details of the system.
So are you saying crew could technically install this? Or
absolutely.
They could, right,
They can.
Yeah.
Usually they prefer to have it done by a certified technician, handle all the warranty issues, but absolutely, crew can do it.
Okay, but if they really wanted to, they could, swap up a little bit, look at the manuals, understand the system and go for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. In most cases though, it's usually chief engineer, they want to know everything that's supposed to be done so that they know that the yard who hired the right technician is doing the right things. Not that they want to do the work themselves, but they want to be able to know every single detail, because that's really part of providing the most perfect experience to the guests, is having the most perfect new builds or the most perfect refit periods. And the best chief engineers know every single bolt and screw on the ship. So knowing every single step in our commissioning installation, even though it's simple, they want to know everything to keep their eyes on the technicians. Okay,
we've got quite an important topic to cover actually. So for context, anybody who's not massively familiar with this, there's been a whole thing about right whales on the east coast of America. And essentially regulation was proposed that would be devastating to the leisure industry in that region, which is a huge part of the industry, especially the fishing side, leisure fishing, all that kind of thing. And the regulation proposed a speed limit that would have essentially devastated the recreational activities that require speed, navigation, all this kind of thing. That was then fought quite heavily, and they concluded, make sure I get this right, they concluded that essentially we have things like technologies and other initiatives that could ensure the safety of the right whales and reduce ship strikes on the whales sufficiently and far more effectively than a straightforward speed limit. FarSounder was one of those kind of technologies with forward-looking sonar that could identify a whale far more effectively than people on board, kind of just keeping a watch. And as a result, we've got this whale class, this is strike avoidance. What have FarSounder kind of done in reaction to that and to kind of solve and address this?
Well, let me back up a step first.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
It is clear that reducing speed of the vessel reduces the risk of ship strike to whales.
Okay.
And ship strike is the leading cause of death, either the number 1 or number 2 leading causes of death for pretty much all the large whales. So not just the North Atlantic right whales, there's only about 370 of those left. Western gray whales, there's about 200 of those left. Here in the Mediterranean, Eastern Mediterranean sperm whales, about 250 of those left. Again, ship strike, leading cause of death. So if you can slow down, you reduce those.
So it is a big factor.
It is a big factor.
Undeniably, right,
but
okay.
That's not the only tool in the toolbox. That's been the only tool in the toolbox for regulators. And it's a good tool, but it has the consequences of, we don't want to shut down everywhere.
Yeah.
And so my belief is, with technology, you can have a better understanding of where the whales are. And FarSounder's 3D sonars are safe for whales. They're safe for the environment.
Yeah.
And part of our original motivation when developing the technology was how to help vessels avoid hitting whales.
Yeah.
But there's also above water sensors like CAI cameras.
Yeah.
However, as we all know, whales spend the majority of their time in the water. So cameras, radars, other sensors can only get a glimpse of them for that brief period when they're at the surface. And that's valuable.
Yeah.
But to have the most robust solution,
we need to see them under the water.
You want to, exactly, but you want to also couple these different sensors.
Okay.
So going back to integration,
yeah.
One of the reasons we're excited about the CAI integration is we now have the above water with the below water. In the context of whales, you can see them with the camera systems when they do breach or fluke. You can see them with the sonar when they're underwater. Stitch them together, you have now an even better view of what's going on. But obviously not every vessel out there, these small leisure boats, they can't justify a CAI camera, FarSounder sonar. And so what we're doing is we're part of the WAVES task force, the Whale and Vessel Safety Task Force. And this industry group is focused on really a holistic solution of collecting the data. Where are the whales? Where are they? In near real time, aggregating information, doing some sort of statistical processing, and then saying, okay, instead of this entire region, here's the zone where the whales are today.
Okay, yeah.
Let's disseminate that back through MFDs, through ECDIS notes, and be able to say, today, this is the place we need to go slow.
So that's essentially a high-risk region, whales in the area.
Exactly.
That then frees up other areas.
Exactly.
And, take more caution in that area.
Correct.
Simple.
Correct. Yeah. Now, this holistic solution is not yet in place, but all the components exist. Right. So we are, at FarSounder, one of those components.
Okay.
And we're working together to try to make this reality.
Yeah, and try and bring it together.
Exactly. And because there aren't enough of the appropriate regulations protecting the whales, it really comes down to industry to make sure that we can protect them. Because they're not just pretty animals, we don't want them to go extinct, but gets back to whale poop. As we talked about last time...
This is going to start ranking as a key word.
Whale poop, exactly. So as we talked about last time, we get about 50% of our oxygen that we breathe from phytoplankton. Yeah. Their primary nutrients come from a process called the whale pump, which is whales diving down, feeding, coming to the surface to breathe because they're mammals, pooping, and that is the input to the nutrients to the phytoplankton.
Yeah, you got a whole food chain.
And exactly. And over the last 200 years, we've killed off 75 to 80% of our whales. So if we kill off the rest, we lose the phytoplankton, we lose half our oxygen. So yes, save the whales, they're beautiful creatures. But if you don't care about that, at least be selfish, because I want to breathe, you want to breathe. Hopefully our viewers want to breathe. Yeah. So that's,
we want to see whales too.
That too, of course. Yeah. And that comes nicely to the whale class that we were talking about. Yeah. while we've been developing our products, collecting data with whales, we've learned a lot about how to site and identify whales and how to operate vessels safely around them.
Yeah, I was going to say this. Go on.
So we actually put together an online on-demand class that talks about all these topics: how to spot whales, how to identify them,
Yeah.
what are the regulations, summaries around the world of how you can operate safely and legally. And I've recruited a whole bunch of great guest hosts, people from Seakeepers, Yachts for Science, Whale Alert, Ocean Wise. The list just goes on and on. And the idea is that we can all work together to get this information out there. All of the profits are going to be donated to whale conservation organizations. This really isn't a FarSounder product class. This is a industry topic class that we think is really important.
And people really get behind it, whether the crew, whether they're owners, charterers, all that kind of thing.
It comes back to purpose, like you're talking
about.
about.
Sense of purpose, protect the whales, protect our oceans, all this kind of thing. This all makes sense.
It's also
and now it's marrying it with the technology. Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, people love it, and it also makes sense because I remember you explaining this, being like, if you're on a boat and you see a whale, you don't really know what information is important.
Yeah.
You go, okay, there's a whale, right? Okay, great.
Yeah. You know,
is that all you've collected? Do you know what species of whale? How is it acting? All these different factors that would be really useful for citizen science that you had the opportunity to collect.
Exactly.
But just because you didn't, know what to look out for, you can't then feed it back, and it doesn't help as much as it could have.
Exactly. It's valuable for the crew because it's more interesting when you know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That translates into value for the guests because if their crew can tell the guests, hey,
look, there's a whale over there.
Oh,
this is the
this
species.
is
This is how it's acting.
This is a bowhead whale. Being
Yeah.
able to tell the difference provides a lot of context.
Yeah.
And then likewise for citizen science, if you're reporting these through the FarSounder software, through Whale Alert, through OceanWise or any other tool, your citizen science observation is more important because you can actually say not just I saw a whale, but I saw this type of whale. I think there was a mother and a calf headed this direction, and that's a lot more valuable.
Yeah, it's more like behavioral data rather than just a sighting.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. And so with all this technology, FarSounder generally, the integration of CAI, etc., which sectors of the industry are really adopting this and embracing it? Is large yacht one of those key sectors? Is the commercial and cargo industry interested in this? Workboats, which sector is loving it?
Superyachts has been one of the initial market sectors for FarSounder since I founded the company back in 2001. So it's been a long time that we've been in this industry. We work with expedition cruise ships, we work with super yachts, we work with trawler owner-operator yachts, we work with more and more coast guards and militaries in their patrol craft, survey vessels. These are the vessels charged with making the surveys for the official charts.
Right.
If you're making a survey,
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, by definition, you don't know what's there.
Yeah.
So use our equipment to make
do.
sure it's safe for them. Exactly. And most recently, more and more of these USVs, the uncrewed or minimally crewed vessels, they need really a heightened sense of situational awareness, especially when their missions take them off-piste, so to say.
Right, yeah.
Getting away from the main shipping channel and into the littoral areas.
Yeah.
Both civil and defense. So short shipping, coastal shipping, as well as defense applications.
And for the unmanned ones, are they using it for navigational purposes, but then also they're actually more empowered to collect the data that they need through the technology, as well as,
Correct.
Not going into another vessel and obstacle, whatever they might not.
USV technology really started in well-curated locations or deep water where they ignored any subsurface navigation hazards. That proved out they can follow the cull regs and so forth. But now that they can generally do that, they're expanding applications. And they can't assume that they can trust the chart everywhere that they're going. Yeah. So just like super yachts exploring,
gold dust.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For us, integration is really the name of the game. So we integrate into these machine systems for the USVs. We integrate onto the bridge of super yachts like we talked about with the CAI. But we also have another big integration that we're excited to announce, and that is a new integration with on-shoots into their Ectis.
Okay.
So we have a lot of customers with on-shoots Ectis on the bridge, FarSounder right next to it. With the upcoming release of our software, we will now be able to have FarSounder data inside the on-shoots Ectis.
And sorry, could you explain what on-shoots Ectis is?
So on-shoots is one of the major Ectis manufacturers.
Right.
In their Synapsys system, they have all the official Ectis capabilities.
Yeah.
And added to their Ectis, you'll see the Ectis charts, and then there'll be an optional layer you can display of the FarSounder sonar data.
Okay,
both
great.
real time in front, as well as the historical map that we build.
Right.
User could turn that off and on.
Yeah.
And then additionally, inside a child window, they have our full web app. So you'll have the slick, sexy, simple to use 3D display from FarSounder with ARPA, AIS, and CAI targets in a window, and then the sonar as a layer on top of the official Ectis charts.
Okay, so in a sense, it's a similar approach. Use the technology that's already on board, improve it, expand that value.
Exactly.
And it's through an integration where you can then overlay this information. So from a user, they see it all in one place, more value, more effective.
Exactly.
Happy days.
Exactly. And for the superyacht sector, obviously on the superyacht bridge, but on-shoots again works across other sectors. So in defense, in commercial, in USV applications, having this integration is a core value for a lot of different types of users.
Okay, super. And I assume that will be pushed quite heavily during Mets Trade. People will have an opportunity to speak to you, learn about it, see what they can do.
Yeah, we're actually going to be hosting on-shoots in our stand in Hall 8.
Right.
We will have a mini on-shoots Ectis set up showing the on-shoots integration side by side with the FarSounder display, so you can see our UI as well as how we integrate with the on-shoots Ectis.
Okay, magic. I will be sure to drop by. I'll see you at Mets Trade.
Same here, Ben. It's great to talk with you.
Everybody, if you enjoy content like this, make sure you're following here to see plenty more of it. All being well, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Ben. Bye for now.
There we go.